Hi friends, welcome to my channel Life with Everyday Haley. Smokey's with us today. Smokey, do you want to tell them mommy's big announcement? My exciting announcement for today is that I am finally clear of chronic endometritis. Yay! Haley, I'm super happy to be back with you for a really good update. In my last video, I had shared about my fourth endometrial biopsy and how that experience went last week. And that was a really painful experience, but I'm really glad I did it because I just got the news that I am officially finally clear of chronic endometritis. And if you've been following my journey, thank God that I've finally cleared the chronic endometritis. It took 4 biopsies, it took 4 different antibiotics, it took 5 months of working through this to get to this point. And I could not be more excited to be finally clear of chronic endometritis. Oh, it feels like a relief. I didn't know if I'd ever get here. I was really starting to doubt and question why this was happening to me or what my body was doing, but I made it. So I'm gonna give you the results right now, and then I'm just gonna do like a brief walkthrough of my entire journey for those of you that are finding my channel and how I got to this point, and then where I move forward. So my results came back, and the first results that came back were the culture results. So they run my fertility clinic runs a bacterial culture with a tissue sample. And those results said that I had healthy, normal bacterial culturing. So that was the first time I ever got that result. I thought that that was a really good positive sign, first of all. I was like, that's really positive. And then my plasma cell CD138 thing came back, my surgical report, and I was so nervous to open it. And it did say that I still have chronic endometritis, but it said only up to 2 plasma cells seen per high power field. So I'm like, what does that mean? Well, my doctor has told me in the past that if it's under 5 plasma cells, they no longer treat with antibiotics. And that, along with the culture showing healthy bacteria, I feel like my uterus is getting better, getting healthier, and I've been told my infection's gone, my inflammation's gone, and there's no more problems in there. Static. Again, I do wish it had said 0 plasma cells, but at this point, I've had so many antibiotics. Most doctors I've talked to are like, no more antibiotics. That's so bad for you. Healthy bacteria is growing, culturing, and you have very, very, very mild inflammation. It's not even really there. And from my research, every woman has a few plasma cells, but if it's over a certain threshold of 5, they're like, okay, something's wrong. So I'm clear. So my doctor says I can try to conceive again. Of course, I am going to be waiting to meet with my reproductive immunologist and get a game plan, and get ready for him to give me the clear to conceive again. So I'm meeting with him in 2 weeks to talk that out, and I am thrilled about next steps because I can actually move forward with trying to have a chance at getting pregnant again now, and hopefully have a chance of success, because for 5 months I was stuck with no chance, not even being able to conceive. So let's go back. Let's just do a little short, I'll try to keep the short recap of my history. So in July of 2023, we started trying to conceive. I initially started having very light cycles and a lot of cramping and spotting and weird cycle symptoms, late cycles, felt off with everything, and thought it was related to my PCOS. talked with my OB. She's like, I think you're fine. You're having normal cycles. I don't think this will cause you issues conceiving. Well, I went on the next cycle to have a chemical loss, which is definitely a red flag sign of chronic endometritis. My doctor said, we're not going to test you for anything. We typically don't only test after 2 losses, so go try again. And something weird that happened in that loss was from the moment of that I ovulated until the moment that I miscarried, I just had like serious cramps, just cramps, and I don't know why my body was reacting so badly to that pregnancy, or what was going on with that chemical loss, but it may have been a telltale sign for chronic endometritis. Again, I'm not sure. So we tried to conceive again in December of 2023, and I got pregnant in December of 2023. So again, really quickly. And then in January, I had a miscarriage at 6.5 weeks. And based on my research, most miscarriages occur if they're related to chronic endometritis before 7 weeks. So it definitely could have had a chronic endometritis component to it. Could be something else going on. But I knew at the time, hey, this is my second loss. Just something is just wrong. And the OB just kept telling me, you're fine. Try again. Lightning struck you twice. That's what they said to me. No, lightning did not strike me twice. There was something very wrong with me. And I had to self-advocate for that. So after my loss, I did push for testing, which really wasn't readily offered to me. I had to kind of push for that. Red flag too. Because if women have only had 2 losses, they're just told to try again. So I had some testing done, but it was very minimal blood work. Nothing came up, of course. And I just wasn't satisfied. Met with the OB again. I was told, sometimes miscarriages are unexplained. I have no words. And they were like, in your next pregnancy, we'll do baby aspirin and progesterone. Okay, well, wasn't enough for me. So I reached out to the fertility clinic. And again, you don't have to have a referral. You can just go yourself. And they were very, very kind and a totally different perspective on things, totally different attitude. Didn't look at me as, we've only had 2 losses, just try again. No, that never happened. They were kind, compassionate, got to the bottom of the issue, realized this girl needs help. She doesn't need to just try again. And there was a few things that they wanted me to do in the initial workup. So they did more blood work on me, more things that the OB did not do. All of that came back pretty good. There's a few things that came back a little weird. But I had a saline sonogram as well to really look at the uterus. That came back fine. I had an HSG, came back fine. HSG was actually, the OB did run that for me after my loss because I guess they wanted to make sure my tubes were open due to some things in my background, but that was fine. And then the last test they wanted me to do was the endometrial biopsy. So that checks for chronic endometritis. I didn't even know what chronic endometritis was. Chronic endometritis is an underlying inflammation and infection in your uterus, typically caused by a miscarriage, but it can also be caused by bacterial vaginosis or anything that migrated up to the uterus that shouldn't be there. There's no way to know if I had it prior to my losses or if I developed it after my last loss. But it was there and we needed to take care of it before I go to conceive again. I believe that it may have been there before my losses, just based on some of the pain and cramping and spotting and all kinds of symptoms that I had before even having that first loss, and then in between the first and second loss, and then even through my treatment. I had symptoms. So I get tested positive for that, and the results showed 9 plasma cells. Anything over 5 is bad. Anything 5 or over is not good. And they did a culture that showed bad positive, gram-positive bacteria. So I didn't have healthy bacteria dominating, which is what you want in your uterus. You don't want bad bacteria in there at all. And so I was told, you know, we need to treat this. So I was treated with doxycycline antibiotics for 2 weeks, twice a day, and an antibiotic called Flagyl for 2 weeks, twice a day. So both of those together, and a Rocephin antibiotic shot. And wondered if that would work. The antibiotics were difficult. It was a lot, to say the least. And I went in during my next menstrual cycle and got another biopsy. So this is biopsy number 2. And that biopsy showed 6 plasma cells. So made progress, but was still there. At that point, the cultures were no longer culturing bad bacteria. So we felt like, you know, hey, the bacteria is going away. This girl's making progress. But I was still very emotional about it, and I wasn't very positive about it. So then my doctor comes back and says, we're going to repeat the same treatment again. So I had the same 2 weeks of treatment again. It was a lot, as you can imagine. And then we had the third biopsy. The third biopsy showed 7 plasma cells, which was a big blow. And again, no bad bacteria culturing. So then I'm like, why am I stuck with this? So then it was time for my doctor to reevaluate my antibiotic regimen because it wasn't working. So, and that's okay, because now I know that that can happen. So you really just have to find the correct antibiotics to treat your case. So after the third biopsy, I did more antibiotics. I did 3 weeks of doxycycline twice a day. And instead of another oral antibiotic, I did clindamycin vaginal cream inserted every night for 7 nights. So that was easy. I really think that that's truly what helped. And then I did also have the Rocephin antibiotic shot again. So I was on a lot of treatment to try and get this cleared, and it just takes time. And so then I went in for my 4th biopsy this month, and last week actually, and congratulations, it's gone. So my results said this time that I had up to 2 plasma cells per high-powered field in my culture, my CD138 culture. And my culture of the bacteria showed healthy bacteria, lactobacillus bacteria dominating. So again, if it's under 5 cells, it's no longer treated. Women can have a few plasma cells as normal. And I feel confident and positive and okay with that result, because I've been on so many antibiotics, I can't do any more. And my body's responding in a positive way. So I'm super excited that I only have 2 plasma cells. I would love to have 0, but I have 2. And again, I feel like that's okay. And some things that I did along my journey that I feel like helped me get to this point, I did oral, I've been doing oral probiotics every day for months. So I'm still on oral probiotics to keep that healthy bacteria up, women's probiotic. I do vaginal suppositories a few times a week to keep that healthy bacteria there, to keep that up. And I've just really been exercising and trying to drink water and eat well and focus on my body, and it worked. So my doctor says, you know, you're clear to try to conceive again, which I've been waiting on for 5 months. I'm so excited about it. So my next steps are I'm meeting with my reproductive immunologist in a couple weeks to go over a game plan. Again, I have to wait for the green light to try to conceive with him. He tested me for a lot of different things. He tested me for immune labs, specialty labs, a ton of stuff, and a few things did show up in my initial blood work that I feel like he'll want to address with me. And so I'm hoping to get the green light from him within a month or so, maybe a month or two, and then him say, okay, I think you're ready to conceive. Because I think most things in my blood work looked pretty good. You can go to my channel to see the video about like what he found. And I will do another video after I meet with him and what he thinks about all my results and how we move forward. So if you are battling chronic endometritis, my heart and my soul is with you. It is such a battle. It was exhausting mentally, physically, and emotionally, on top of the grief of pregnancy loss. Again, I do think it probably played a role in my pregnancy losses. I probably won't know for sure unless I have a successful pregnancy, and can confidently say, yeah. But I've been told that any inflammation can cause significant issues with implantation or development of pregnancies, and you just want your uterus to be a healthy, good place. And just know that if your body's not really responding to treatment, I think oftentimes it's just your doctor having to find the correct treatment for you, and the correct antibiotic that's going to work for your body. But that clindamycin cream, putting that in there really made a difference. So maybe talk to your doctor about that option, and just know that I think in most cases the chronic endometritis does clear. And it did for me. So it's possible for it to clear, and now I know that, and now I know that we did find the root cause and we treated it. So I hope you the best outcome like I've had. So I'll keep you updated on my journey. Again, a really positive win for us. We haven't had positive news in a while, so getting this news was like a breath of fresh air for us, honestly, truthfully, and it gives us hope that like maybe we do have a chance. I can't even tell you how challenging it was to not even be able to attempt to conceive. Like, that's hard enough to be able to try to get pregnant and have to like go through that and wonder what's going to happen. But like, I was on pause for months, like indefinitely. So I'm not anymore, and I feel like the weight has been lifted off of me, that feeling of like something's wrong with me, I'm damaged, I'm the reason that I've had these losses. And now I can feel like confident that no, like I should have a much higher chance of success next time. And I'm very, very grateful to my entire medical team for their care and kindness and guiding me through this journey. My fertility clinic, my reproductive immunologist, everybody is helping me so much in such a kind and compassionate way, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And again, I'll conclude with self-advocate, because if I had not reached out to the fertility clinic and gotten assessed for this, I probably would have had another miscarriage, another traumatic loss. Then my OB finally probably would have referred me there. It just would have been more delays, more pain, another pregnancy loss. And I really hate it that it takes that long. I understand after one loss, like, well, try again. I totally get that. I did that. But after two, come on, it's time to get assessed. No one should get pregnant back to back like that and miscarry both times. You just shouldn't. You just shouldn't. And if you're a woman like me that is like very fertile but miscarries, I just want you to know that you're not alone, even though it feels very isolating. Most women you see on social media or YouTube are women that have to go through IVF, or infertility is their battle. But you don't see a lot of people with recurrent loss. You just don't hear a lot about it. And you don't see a lot of people that, oh, I get pregnant quickly and bam, I miscarry. Like, that's just weird. It's very traumatic. Something's wrong. And so I would encourage you to seek help to figure out what's going on. So thank you for tuning into my channel. Excited for a positive update for you finally. I did clear that chronic endometritis that I've been battling for a really long time. A big win for us today. And again, if you're on this battle, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Would love for you to subscribe to my channel and follow along on my journey, where I'm at and where I'm going, because I'm very knowledgeable at this point. I take a lot of time to research and make very thoughtful decisions about my future, because for me, this is the biggest decision and change of my life. Becoming a mom and having a family is the most important thing in my life. Second from my relationship with God and my relationship with my spouse, this is like everything I've ever wanted and everything I've ever dreamed of. And so I am pouring every ounce of effort and care and knowledge into my journey that I can, because I want to have success and I want to look back and know, I tried my hardest to have a baby. And I hope that that effort brings me to success. And unfortunately, some women like us just really have to put in hard work to get that success. It's not easy for everybody. Some people just get pregnant and it's easy, and some people really have to fight for it. But just know that if you fight for it, that reward is going to be even more beautiful. And you're going to be tough, and you're going to be ready to be a mom, and you're going to have dealt with a lot of pain. And I guarantee you that in those hard moments of motherhood, you're going to remember how much you wanted that child, and you're not going to forget that. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time with some further updates.